Hello, everyone. I'd like to introduce two wonderful classmates of mine from Stockton University, Noelle Sweely and Jordan Sona. Noelle is an elementary education major at Stockton, and Jordan is also an elementary education major at Stockton. So, Noelle, I'd like to start out with you. I have a couple questions for you. Due to the pandemic and the current use of synchronous virtual learning environments like Zoom, what are some positive aspects of learning and teaching within this environment, in your opinion?
I think that it's a more flexible schedule and allows the students and staff to log on and they can do it from home, and it allows them to kind of like their schedule is easier to work with because they're working from home. So that's definitely a positive aspect for virtual learning. And then I also think that it allows students to become more familiar with technology and they can learn through technology, which they will use for the rest of their lives. So I think that those are both positive aspects to virtual learning.
Awesome, thanks. And then what did you think were some challenging aspects of virtual learning?
I think that it can be challenging, especially when teaching the younger grades, to get them to focus over the computer and also to have hands-on interaction. And for those students that are visual learners or hands-on learners, they're not getting that. So that's definitely a challenge. And I think it also could be a challenge for them because if they're not familiar with technology, there can be issues with that. Same with the teacher, there could be issues with that too. And then I also think that the students and staff are not getting the social interaction that they need, especially when the kids are younger, over Zoom or over the computer. And I think that's definitely negative aspects for that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Awesome, thanks for your insights on that. So, Jordan, I kind of have the same questions for you. Due to the pandemic and the current use of synchronous virtual learning environments like Zoom, what did you think were some positive aspects of learning and teaching within the environment?
I agree with everything Noelle said. I think a positive aspect of learning over a platform like Zoom is you have the ability to log in from anywhere. There's less of a reason to miss class or not be able to teach for a day. You can manage your time a lot better. There's also, like Noelle had mentioned, integrating technology. Students now are learning with all different forms of technology, and they're going to be so much more well prepared for the future and for jobs because technology is a huge part of our world and they're forced to learn how to use it now.
Yeah, good answer. The kids coming up now are not going to know anything but technology. I mean,
Right.
so young, so good answer. And then what did you think were some challenging aspects of learning and teaching within the environment?
So I think there were a lot of challenging aspects. One of the big ones, kids aren't getting the socialization they need. They're not able to, teachers and students aren't able to form personal connections like they would have face to face in a classroom. There's also a lot of technological difficulties between, computers not working right and internet connectivity issues. So those are really tough.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, girls, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to participate in the interview, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I also wanted to take my time and weigh in on what I thought some of the positive aspects of learning in the environment, the virtual environment were, and then also what some of the negative aspects of it were. I think for me, the positive aspects had to be the fact that I didn't have to travel to and from school. I'm a commuter, so to have the ability to walk downstairs, log on to a computer, and be at class was amazing for me. It eliminated about an hour of travel. Um, and the other thing is, for me, to be in the classroom, I can be distracted very easily. Now, I've talked to a lot of other people, and a lot of other people's insight was, hey, being at home was more distracting for me. But that's not the case for me. For me, being in the classroom is very distracting. I'm a people watcher. And so being able to learn on the computer, I excelled. So I thought just being in my own environment and eliminating the travel to and from the campus and eliminating being in live time in the classroom really helped me. Another positive aspect is just the exposure to the technology, learning how to be on Zoom, how to navigate it, how to share the screen, how to record on it. So helpful for me as I go forward in teaching. I can learn how to host Zoom meetings, teach people how to do it. So those were the positive aspects. I think the challenging aspects for me personally were just, you know, having to control my home environment, how to keep my dog quiet, when, having to get up to let my dog out. I had my daughter in virtual schooling for a little bit, so I had to leave the screen and go help my daughter with her virtual schooling. So juggling what was going on around me in the home environment was a challenge. Um, I don't. I felt like with breakout rooms, it was it could be challenging if you got students who didn't add anything to the conversation. You went into a breakout room with other kids and they had nothing to say, and there was no accountability really to get them to say stuff. Now the teacher could check into the breakout rooms and that was cool, but it was also challenging to go to a breakout room and no one really had an obligation to speak up, and no true accountability. So those are my opinions on that.